Today we're going to talk about how we protect our customers and our organization from vulnerable code. We're covering the CI/CD pipeline. That stands for continuous integration and continuous development. This is one of the most critical parts of our cybersecurity posture, because if this pipeline breaks down, bad code reaches real users. You may have never thought about how software actually gets from a developer's laptop to the product you use every day, but there's a lot that happens in between. And that's exactly where we need security. So today, I'm going to walk you through setting up your own pipeline. And I'll give you the scripts to do it as well. This isn't just a demo. The code I'm showing you can be used to deploy a real pipeline in your environment, though probably a simple one. I've got 2 Linux boxes set up locally on my machine, and I'll have them open side by side so you can see the full flow. Here on the left is my development box, and on the right is my deployment box. Now go grab the development setup script from our GitHub page and run it on your development server. I'm going to fast forward a bit, but pay attention here. It's going to ask you for your GitHub username and email address. My script installed Python as well, but the version you'll find online only includes Git. The script also creates an SSH key for you. So let's head over to GitHub and add our SSH key under the section you see here. This is how we securely authenticate to GitHub so we can push our code up and have it scanned in the pipeline. Now let's set up a repo where our code will live. I'm setting mine private and done. We can test our SSH key and access to GitHub with a simple command. The script will remind you as well, it's time to head over to our deployment box. Let's get it set up and ready to receive our cleared code. Here I'm making the development script, available from our GitHub page, executable. Then let's run it. It doesn't take too long, but let's fast forward a bit to the script's completion. We just created a repo, so it's time to create another token. Now let's head over to GitHub. If you use the link provided, it will take you to the right place. Give it read and write permissions, and save. This is the authenticator used to pull your code to your deployment server. Make sure and take note of this. Paste it in a notepad temporarily. Alright, we're almost there. Now it's time to log into the GitHub Container Registry. The script you just ran deployed a login script that will handle this for you. Enter your GitHub username, and this is where you'll use the token we just generated. Alright, we are logged in. It doesn't hurt to run a quick Docker command to make sure it's ready to go. Okay, before we move on, I want to show you why we're about to do what we're about to do. So far we've set up box 1 with Git, and it created an SSH key, and box 2 with Docker and Git as well. Now we're going to create a file that tells GitHub exactly what to do with our code when we push it. When we push code to main, GitHub automatically builds the container image, generates an SBOM so we know what's inside, and scans it for vulnerabilities. If it passes, it gets pushed to the registry. If it doesn't, it never makes it out. In just a minute, I'll commit some example code, and we'll watch it go through GitHub. Once one of them passes, we'll run a simple Docker pull command to deploy our code to the production server. Now, I'm dropping in my configuration file, and I'll upload that for you to view. But I would like to highlight 2 really cool tools here that will help you get started. One is GitHubWorkflow.com, a visual drag-and-drop builder that lets you create GitHub action workflows. You can then export the YAML without writing it by hand. The second one is a free GitHub app that auto-generates workflow files tailored to your project. You fill in a simple form with your tech stack, Docker needs, preferences, and it generates a workflow for you. Alright, now I'm going to push my code. You could have pushed yours earlier. I just wanted you to see the whole pipeline come together and understand what's happening before we start pushing our code. I have 2 apps here. One is intentionally vulnerable, and one only has some medium-level vulnerabilities. The goal is to show you what it looks like when one fails and one passes. You can see we have a problem with our workflow. Let's open it up under the Actions tab. And right away we can see that one app passed and one failed. It's flagging a severity threshold was exceeded. So let's dig into the failed app. The Grype vulnerability scan gives us a lot of detail about this image. We've got an SBOM showing exactly what's inside, and we can even download the artifacts. So you can hand those off to your compliance team or pass them to your developers for the next sprint. And here we are at the finish line. It's time to pull our image. You can see the command on the screen as a guide, but I've got it typed out in Notepad so I can just paste it in. And notice, the failed app never made it to the registry. Only the app that passed the scan is available to pull. That's the pipeline doing its job. You've just successfully moved code from step 1 all the way to a production server, being used by real people, driving real revenue. Now, the tools and specifics might change depending on where you work, different scanners, different registries, different platforms. But the concepts you just walked through, those stay the same. Build, scan, gate, deploy. That process is the backbone of how software gets shipped securely. So if you followed along in your home lab, you've got a real foundation. This lab and the concepts will take you a long way. Don't forget you can go to our GitHub page and grab scripts, the config example, and even a user guide that walks you through what we went over today. You can get there directly or through the website. If this was useful, hit the like button. It actually tells me what to build next. The stuff that gets liked is what I make more of. I drop new demos every couple of weeks, so subscribe if you don't want to go hunting for it. See you in the next one.